This council meeting for the Township of Selwyn for May the 12th, 2026 will come to order. We respectfully acknowledge that we are on the treaty. That was me going. Yeah, all right. This council meeting for the Township of Selwyn for May the 12th, 2026 will come to order. We respectfully acknowledge that we are on the treaty and traditional territory of the Mississauga and Anishinaabe. We offer gratitude to the First Peoples for their care for and teachings about our earth and our relations. May we honor those teachings. Please observe a moment of silence so the council staff and members of the public can quietly reflect on our duty to the community that we are trying to serve. Members of the public, staff, presenters, and members of council, please be advised that meetings are broadcast and recorded and made available on the internet. Is there any declaration of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? None, please note that in minutes. We have our minutes of April the 28th, 2026 before us. Are there any errors or omissions? If not, now someone move them. Moved by Councillor Boyko, seconded by Councillor Henry, all in favor. Very thank you. Is there any discussion of? Seeing none, we will have our first presenter, Mr. Andy Mitchell, who is our Selwyn Library Board Chair. Welcome and good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Mayor Senes, and to council. And I will fumble my way to this thing again if I try to manage. But anyways, let me just begin, as I and often do. I believe that we have a very unique, special, and successful library service in Selwyn Township. And the reason for that is because it's a broad-based community effort. And I just want to recognize some of the groups that contribute to that, starting with council. Council has always been very supportive of the library in Selwyn. And without that support, it wouldn't be able to provide the service to the community that it does. I'd also like to thank the staff, both the staff here at the township, but more directly the staff at the library for the work that they do to make sure that we can deliver our services. And our volunteers. You see from the report the number of volunteers that we have working at the library. We couldn't do what we do or have the reach that we have if we didn't have those members of volunteers. I'd like to also thank my fellow board members. The mayor is a member, but we have a number of community members. All of them have been outlined in the report. And of course, the residents of Selwyn themselves, who are very supportive of the library, use the services, and contribute significantly. So I just wanted to make a recognition of all of those folks. Many of these buttons should move it forward, I'm sure. There we go. Okay. So as I said, what we try to do at the library, we strive to be an important community asset. And we do that in a number of ways. Obviously, it's a place where somebody can come to learn, but it's also a place where people gather. It's a community hub. And it's also a place that delivers a set of services to various component parts of our community. And we have a lot of unique attributes that allow us to do that in the setting of Selwyn. And these next couple of slides are going to go through those. These are things that make us special, but at the same time provide us particular challenges that we have to meet. And so the first one on this first slide is the obvious one. We operate in 4 unique locations. That allows us to provide service in all of our wards. It allows us to provide our service through Makerspace. But as council can appreciate, it comes with a cost to do this as we provide it through a number of locations. The next unique piece is the amount of volunteer service that we have. And you can see the numbers. We have over 150 volunteers providing over 15,000 hours of volunteer time. If you were to just consider a minimum wage onto that 15,000 plus hours, that's $271,000 of a contribution if you monetize it that way. That's almost 5 full-time equivalent staff if you're working on that basis. I'll be very straightforward. We could not do what we do as a library service in this community without. They are essential to what we do. And it's a way that the community comes together and provides something special to all of our residents. If you go on to the next slide, another part of what we do is we have managed to, over time, generate a large amount of revenue outside of just the levy. So there's no question that the levy support that the council provides is essential to what we do. But through fundraising, through our grants, and I have to be remiss if I didn't mention Sarah's ability to troll for and secure grants from various different places. Thank you, Sarah. We have donations. We also have our store revenue, which is unique to ourselves, and we generate some of our own revenue through room rentals, fines, things like that. So as you can see, we generate a fair amount of outside revenue, and that's something that we will work to continue. You can take a look at our circulation. We have a diversified sources of circulation. Obviously, physical books, about 80,000 borrowings, but we also have digital borrowings as well. That's 35,000. That's grown significantly over the last 4 years that I've been the chair. And then we have our special collection item. We have almost 11,000 borrowings, and that's another piece that makes us a unique library in that we do that. So, as I said, we are more than a traditional library, more than just a book lending institution. We have a number of items that I'd like to highlight about what makes us more than just a place to go borrow books. So I mentioned about us being in all 3 wards. We have a really strong partnership with Community Care, which allows us to provide a retail offering as well as a number of events that we can do with them. I mentioned our special collection. It allows us, it recognizes that we have a large tourism and seasonal population. It provides access to things that perhaps people with modest means who couldn't afford to buy something can borrow something that they need to use. It's an important part of the collection collection services that we provide. We developed 5 years ago the Makerspace, a place that people can learn new skills, learn about technology. We've been able to develop a whole host of programming around that, and very responsive to the community. People come in and say, "Are you able to do this?" And again, I have to applaud our staff. They rarely say no. They often say, "Give me a little while, and I'll figure out how we can do that." And that's sort of their motto. They need to be really recognized for doing it. We have a great, and we'll go into this in a minute in another slide, a comprehensive suite of children's programs. There are lots of kids who I'm sure have grown up with memories of programming, and lots of moms and dads who have been there with their kids and appreciated the kind of programming that's provided at the library. And we also have adult programming as well, and this year we were able to do that to a greater extent than we have in the past. I'll fix that in a second. So here are some of the things in our special collections portfolio. So some different ones than you might expect to see at a library, but as I mentioned, we have over 11,000 of these that are for on an annual basis. As I said, especially proud of our children's programming, 313 different programs, over 8,000 attendees. Now, some of those are repeat individuals, but that's a significant number of our community's children that are being provided that program. So we have year-round literacy-based programs. It provides a known location for high-quality early literacy programming during school breaks. We've seen an increased demand for toddler homeschool STEAM programs and class visits. And these are things that are accessible without a fee to our residents. Our adult programming, a little bit smaller, we've got 40 adult programs, 135 attendees, and the list of some of the things that we provided. But beyond our standard adult programming, we had a seniors community grant that Sarah and the staff managed to secure for the past year, where we had additional 51 programs, 604 attendees that we were able to provide from by use of that community grant. And you can see some of the activities that took place because of that grant, and that was a provincial grant. Thank the province for providing that to us. Also, our makerspace. So we have 19 of our volunteers are in makerspace. It's amazing the talent of people in our community. And they come out of the woodwork and they assist their staff in delivery of programs. 47 of them, 183 attendees. And we were able to generate some revenue out of the makerspace, which goes to our overall operation. So that, I think, has been a really great success in the last 5 years. One of the hallmarks is our outreach and partnership. When you go to many community events in Selwyn, you'll find the library represented there, where we have a chance to engage with folks. I talked about some of our partnerships, and we're always looking for new ways to expand our reach to partnerships. And it was just a quote there from some of our patrons. We get lots of positive feedback from our residents, and when the resident points out to us that perhaps we would want to think about doing things differently, we respond to those. We respond to those as well. So, and my last slide, and do this. Here we go. I want to make a special thank you to Lynn, who has been the treasurer for the library board, I think, since we've come together at the township, okay? And who has provided us with a wealth of knowledge, wisdom, and advice over the years on how to operate the library. I can't tell you, Lane, how much we appreciate it, how much we're going to miss you at the library. I suspect the whole township feels the same way. But it's a well-earned retirement, and I know that you will probably, I suspect you will be as busy in retirement as you had been before. So anyway, that's my presentation. In our council, I'll be happy to answer any questions for the hard ones at that month.
Thank you, Andy. And of course, you sit on as the chair of the library board. You're a volunteer as well. And we really appreciate the time that you put into having our meetings well run. And we all enjoy working with you.
Thank you.
So are there any questions? Councillor Boyko.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Sennis, I have a comment and a question. The comment, you mentioned the Lakefield Literary Festival. I just want to outline just an example of the community partnership with working with the Lakefield Literary Festival is the children's tent that takes place every July 18th this year. And while the Literary Festival pays for the rental of the tents and the chairs and pays for the authors' expenses and things, as the chair of the Lakefield Literary Festival, we don't do anything to organize it. Casey does it all. And Casey and her staff do everything. They hire the authors, they get the kids together that do a really inventive way of introducing the authors. They bring in Helen Batten, who brings in with pipes every year, and then they gather all of the children and parents and grandparents and everything for a great event. And while, like I said, the festival pays for it all, it's Casey and her staff that make it happen. And that's the kind of partnership that I think make the library across Selwyn really special. And so just want to say thank you on behalf of the festival. for
Well,
all
that's a
of the
great
work.
example. Thanks for bringing it.
Yeah. The question I have goes back to the revenue slide. And the revenue slide, it talked about all of the sources of alternative revenue beyond what township provides in the levy. And one of the slices of the pie was reserves. Okay, and anyway, it said on the reserves that it's just north of 19K in reserves coming in 2025. I'm always worried when, in order to operate anything, money is being drawn from reserves. So I wonder if this is something that is done every year, if drawing 19K from reserves gives the treasurer or the board a little worry, or is this something that we should be concerned about?
So I'm going to try to explain this,
Yeah.
John, and I'm going to turn to Lane to help me when I get it wrong. In actual fact,
When you get it wrong, okay.
well, I'm so, in actual fact, in the fiscal year that ended 2025, December 31st, yeah, we did have a draw on, but we also had what I would call retained earnings in the private sector, but accumulated surplus, if you call it here, of around 66,000. So our net contribution to the township's cash position or reserve position is actually a positive one. We actually was able to contribute this year to that position. Because one of the things that we did while we were having some challenges, and council helped us, remember when we were trying to fit the staff, and
Yes.
you did it over a couple of years. We also drew down our accumulated surplus at that time. And since then, we've been rebuilding that. Now, because of the way that, you know, when you take it out of reserve to pay for the capital and then put it in and out, the net is we actually put more in than we took out this year.
Okay,
And you're right, we want to try to build that accumulated surplus as much as we can, because inevitably something will happen in the future and then we'll have a need for it.
excellent. That explains that. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Black.
Yeah, thank you to you, Mayor Sennis. Can you put the slide up that thanks Lane? Just want to make a comment there. I want to thank Lane as well, but I just want everybody to notice, Lane had a full head of white hair back then, and he's still got a full head of white hair, but I had a full head of black hair back then, and I've lost most of mine. So congratulations on that. Maintaining all these years of accounting work, and you haven't pulled all your hair out. So I seriously want to thank you as well. That's been a great contribution, and for the board and all the volunteers make it an incredible place for the community. Just a couple of quick questions. 1,065 new library cards. Is that as new students come in, they get a card to encourage them to use the libraries? It sounds like a large number. And what's the total number of card holders now? Must be a big number.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Sorry, there you go. Yeah, I don't have the total number of card holders right in front. I could get that information for you easily enough. In terms of new cards, I just think that's, yeah, it's not only students. We have a lot of new residents in the community as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just really trying to get ourselves out there with all these different outreach events and yeah, make ourselves available. But yeah, I think the combination of, yeah, a lot of different people coming from all walks of life. And yeah, I know Peterborough too. We do have a lot of Peterborough residents as well.
Mhm.
As of late, too. We have reciprocal borrowing agreement with Peterborough Public Library. So we're able to borrow, our patrons can borrow from them, we can borrow from us. So that is, yeah, good part as well.
Yeah, it just says a lot to the sustainability. When you're getting that many new members each year, it just really bodes well for sustainability down the road. So thanks for that. The other one was around the makerspace, the in-shop fundraising or revenue. Tell me how that works. Are there people coming in and say, can you make this for me? And our volunteers are making them and selling them back. How would that work?
I'm gonna let Sarah talk to you, but that is
Okay.
part of it.
Is it? Okay, I just wondered because it's kind of a new thing that, which is nice to see. It helps to sustain that program for sure.
So yeah, through you, it is a combination, as Andy said. We attend markets all summer, so our volunteers make all of the things that we're selling at the markets
Oh.
and then we're turning around and selling it. So it's a terrific learning opportunity for our volunteers too. We do have patrons who just request that we, make things for them, or they'll send us their printouts and we'll do that. So
Hmm.
yeah, there's a bit of an upcharge on that. Trying to think what else? Yeah, we have the shop right in the makerspace, so during open hours, people can come in and just grab that.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a,
Very good.
yeah.
No, it's just, it's fantastic to see. Thank you.
If there's no other questions, I just have a couple of things. When we were speaking to revenue, there were some donations that were made and I wanted you to make a point, Andy, to speak to one of them because other people may not know that they have the opportunity to make a donation to our library. So if you
So
make-
we have a anonymous donor who has provided $10,000, I believe it is this year, to us, that allows us to continue to do, to keep, a staff member there to help deliver the program. And it's, I think, the second or third year. It's the third year. So I think that speaks a lot to the community and to the value that somebody places it. That they place in the library to the community, if they're willing to make that kind of donation. And to the mayor's point, that's something that we're always happy to. We are in a position that we can issue charitable receipts. And so, yeah, and it's really special when somebody views the library as that value that they're willing to make that kind of contribution.
And there are a couple of things that are coming up. We always like to celebrate our volunteers with the library. And on June 8th, we're having our dinner. I hope members of council can come and join to thank our volunteers. I know Deputy Mayor Black, you're out of the country. But if the others can join, that would be wonderful. And on August the 6th, we're having an evening with Elvis. It's a at the Legion. It's a fundraiser and it's kind of taking the place of our golf tournament where we consciously made the decision not to have a golf tournament this year because it's election year and we didn't want to be asking our local businesses to put money towards that. So if you can, if you see your way clear to have August 6th available, you can out and sing along with and dance to Elvis, 7 to 9.
There you go. Thank
Yeah.
you. Sure.
All right, thank you very much for your presentation. I'm looking for someone to make motion to receive it. Councillor Boyko, seconded by Deputy Mayor Black, all in favor, that is carried. Thank you, Andy. Were there any questions for question period, Madam Clerk?
No questions.
All right. We will now move on to Tanya Gonçalves to talk about delegated powers and duties policy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the municipal act does require that municipalities adopt and maintain a policy with respect to delegated authority. So the township does currently have a bylaw in place that was adopted in 2006. But since that time, we have put out other delegations through various bylaws. So staff have reviewed those and thought it would be appropriate to update our delegation of powers and duties policy so that we can consolidate it to include some of the delegations from various bylaws, as well as to add some new delegations that are tasks that are routine in nature that staff can take on from an administrative standpoint. So the policy does outline some principles and guidelines to follow. As you will note in Schedule A of the policy, there's delegations there that are in black text. Those are delegations that have already been approved by council and delegated to staff. And anything in the blue text is anything that staff is proposing that we add to the new policy. So I just want to note that Schedule A does identify what that delegation is, who it's being delegated to, and then the legislative requirements and or processes that staff would need to adhere to in order to obtain the delegation. So I can leave that open for any question.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions for Tim? Deputy Mayor Black?
Your worship, thanks for the report. It's a great report. Lots of things here I wasn't aware of, but they don't happen often enough that we need to know. Under I, insurance, the authority to negotiate and settle small insurance claims against the municipality within the insurance deductible limits. What would be defined as small? Before it would have to come to council or? Okay.
Yeah, so we have a couple of different deductible levels. If it deals with property, it's generally a $10,000 deductible. If it's liability, it's 25,000. But we would really be talking about damage to property. So we could actually clarify that as well. Anything that's a liability matter would be passed along to our insurer.
Insurance name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just the word small.
Sure.
Defined a little bit clearer. I think that would be better.
Okay.
Policy.
Yep. Okay.
Other questions? Seeing none, I'm looking for someone to move the recommendation. Deputy Mayor Black, second by Councillor Henry, all in favor? Is there anything anyone wants pulled in the consent items? See any, so I'm looking for someone to move. Councillor Henry, second by Councillor Boyko, all in favor? Carrie, thank you. Any other new and unfinished business? Madam Clerk, do we have to move this delegation? I thought we'd done that.
We actually apparently it was discussed at the last meeting, but there wasn't an actual resolution. So we do require a resolution from council just to verify that this is the delegation you want to make to AMO.
So. Moved by Councillor Henry to have you request to meet with Solicitor General for the RIDE program, seconded by Councillor Boyko, all in favor. That is carried. Madam Clerk, can you please read the bylaws?
Certainly, 45 are the sewer rates. These are for the Lakefield water system. 46 is the water rates for the Lakefield system. And 47 is a bylaw to adopt the delegated powers and duties policy.
Those. Councillor Henry, seconded by Deputy Mayor Black, all in favor. Carried. Confirming bylaw, Councillor Boyko, seconded by Councillor Henry, all in favor. Carried. Notice to adjourn, Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor or Deputy Mayor Black, all in favor. That is carried. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.